So this is kind of interesting. It kind of looks like the holes that were originally holding this water pump down kind of broke, and somebody put some screws in from underneath with some nuts on top. I've never quite seen it rigged like that before, so I thought it was kind of interesting. Thought I might share it. I wouldn't recommend doing this, but you know, what it works, works, I guess. So I'm just going to take it off, and we'll see what it looks like under the water pump and plate thing here. So this screw right here doesn't actually seem like it's doing anything. Well, it is, but I don't think the nut made it all the way to the top. I think they couldn't get it in on the angle. So the screw kind of threaded itself in through the housing here and forced itself into the base of the water pump. Get out of there. So the next problem is this plate here. See how we now have elonged holes? So, yeah, I mean, that probably worked to hold the water pump in, but the problem is you kind of ruin this $100 plate by doing that. Not you, the viewer, obviously, but you, the prior owner. So that's pretty unfortunate because, no, I'm just setting it out now. I'm not going to put it back together like this. So yeah, those holes, kind of unfortunate. That's kind of why you don't necessarily want to rig anything on these outboards, because when you do, you might damage something else. It's pretty expensive. I suppose what should have happened was that hole drilled out straight. Oh, that plate's really on there. What's going on here? Got it. There, I broke it. Now, so now with that removed, we can kind of see what happened. Some metal shards in there. So we got what's left of a broken screw right here that broke off. Second one right here. Third one there. And that doesn't look like there was a broken screw in there, but there probably was. What probably should have happened was taken a little more care to line up these new drill holes. Here's some threads. Anyway, line these up better on a drill press, not with a hand drill. Drill them out, next size over. You know, I think these were probably 632, so use an 832, and then one of the helicoil kits to fix it. That would have worked perfectly fine. Enlarging the holes, putting screws in from the bottom, not the best way. Now, granted, it may have worked. There's just better ways to do it. Second problem with this lower unit is the top of the drive shaft here. We don't have a roll pin, we have a cotter pin to hold the seal in. Yeah, that saved $4, but it probably put the seal in there a little sideways. I don't know. Like I said, it might have worked, but that's definitely not a good idea. I'll pull that out. In the future, I plan on making a 6 horsepower video all about this seal, lower unit, water pump, options, that kind of stuff. It'll kind of relate to this since it's kind of the same design. Oops. So, in a few more months when some funding comes in from the YouTubes here, I'm going to make that. So keep an eye out if you're interested, or just hit subscribe and you'll see it eventually. So this thing is probably going to need a housing. Luckily, its size and vintage, they're pretty easy to come across and pretty cheap. So that won't really be an issue. If it was any newer and larger, then yeah, deal with those holes. But a lot of these are still around. I have a whole plethora of them. So it'll get a new housing. Gears and everything will come out, go to the new pretty housing, paint it up, clean it, make it look all pretty, and not even deal with dealing with those holes. So while you're here, figured I'd show you inside. These are, you never know what you see inside of here. Alright, all the screws are broken loose. I'm going to come back and take them all out now. So the oil in this has probably never changed, at least not in 40 years. And that is some thick oil. Well, I'll let this thing soak in something, get it cleaned up, and yeah. And actually looking at it from this angle, they probably did have 4 broken screws. You got 2 there. One there, pretty far off on that one. And you can kind of see a little bit of that one there. So they had 4 broken screws in this housing. Also, you can see some damage and some pitting here on the drive shaft where that cotter pin was. Chances are this the seal bounced up and down on this thing so many times. Because, you know, that pin wasn't straight, so one of the legs was in there sideways. So as it rotates, it changes directions, and it just sat there and wore on the drive shaft over and over and over and again. It wasn't that long, or at least the wear wasn't too bad, one of the two, but you can see the damage done. So if you're doing one of these, get a roll pin. So I guess that's all for now. Have a good one. Subscribe. See you next time.